Joey. Joey did his hair for us this morning.
What's up? What's up?
Oh man, are you matching my shirt? Let me see what
I
you got.
am, yeah.
Oh man, we couldn't have planned that. All right.
I saw when you posted your thing earlier that today's the last day. I was like, oh, it's the same shirt I'm wearing already. So
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did you put it on because you saw it? Or well, welcome on, Joey. So, if you don't mind, we'll give a brief story about yourself first to get started prior to real estate before you even got involved with anything. Just a little bit about yourself.
yep. So I'm 31 years old. I graduated high school in 2011. Got a small degree in criminal justice. I was a police officer for a year. That didn't work out the best. Then I started selling stuff at a flea market. That didn't work out either. I took Scott's course. I think that is now 2014, maybe.
Nope, had to be after that. We started our live ones first in 2015, so it had to be 16 or 17.
Okay, something like that. I'm just going off my head. So maybe somewhere, yeah, 2016, 17, somewhere around there. I didn't do anything with that for about a year or so until I had to. I lost all my money. I needed something to fall back on, and Slow Flips are where it was at. I started filling properties in Virginia for Scott, for Kevin, other members in our group, and it was a pretty good income. We probably made $100,000, a little bit more than that our first year, and that's when I was only 23, 24 years old. So from back then, that was a really good business for me. And I bought my first property was 2019. So yeah, I knew the numbers now. Like it was 2017 when I went to your seminars. 2019,
Yeah.
I bought my first property, and that's now 6 years later. The house is free and clear. It brings in $1,250 a month, and it's absolutely slow flips are has obviously changed my life. Like everyone knows, like numbers you tell everybody. I'm going to go over it now, but right now I have 254 properties.
I was saying 258 yesterday. I was off. I thought I heard that somewhere. So you have 254 properties, but the irony is that's not all you do. You also manage filling and you wholesale a ton. And but before we even get into that, let's talk about your properties. So property number one, you just told us about. Tell us how we get to property number 2, 3, 5, how we get to 253.
Yeah, so number one was in Newport News, Virginia. I got it for $22,000 from a wholesaler. I took out a $30,000 loan with a lender for it. So it was pretty cool. My first deal, I got $5,000 back at closing, and I was like, "Oh, pretty neat." My first person was in there paying, I think, $925 a month, give or take, and they stayed there for 2 years. It turned over, then turned over once or twice. But the people they paid like the when I got my first check in the mail. That was before I even had a PO box. They mailed it to my personal house. And I had a check for $900 on the first of the month. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so then, like, I think it was 4 months later, I bought my second house, which I still own both these houses now. They're actually one's on Chestnut Ave and one's on 29th Street in downtown Newport News, and they're both within like a 30-second walk of each other. That one I paid $33,000 for, and I've had the same buyers in there now for about 5 years, like a full 5 years. They're paying $875, and they have no intentions of going anywhere. They're going to stay in that. They're my life. They're going to be there for until something happens to them. So the first year I bought 12 houses. I bought 12 properties my first year working with Scott. I want to say they were all in downtown Newport News. I had one in Suffolk and two in Portsmouth. So all Hampton Roads, Virginia. The year after that, I went from 12 to 20, then from 20 to 40. And then this is where it gets crazy. It went from 40 to 130, and then 130 to like whatever I'm at now,
So
200.
you bought 90 houses in one year that year.
Yeah, that was last year, and it's still crazy like how all that. Oh no, it was the year before that, I think. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. The year I bumped up from 40 to 130, and I was looking at the end of the year. I was like, I don't know how this is even possible. Like that's like averaging like 8 to 10 a month, and I'm like, we did it. Like we did it. And it all comes down to I just trusted the process. I buy as is, I sell as is. I don't do repairs, I don't do renovations. And most importantly, the buyers pay. If I had 20 people that weren't paying, like it wouldn't work out for me. But almost every single person paid on time every month, which allowed me to scale, buy more, buy more, buy more. Exactly what Scott teaches and preaches, like don't buy more houses if you have 10 vacancies. If you need some, like Cameron said earlier, like if you have a lot of problems, let it sizzle out a little bit, like before you take on some more financial obligations. But everything's just been going so smoothly, and it's really just got to trust the process. It's been absolutely great.
So I have to ask you, you're at 253 now. Where is the vision? What's your goal? I know you. I know we've talked about it and it's changed multiple times, but what's your plan?
Yeah. So last year, well, let's say 2 years ago, when I was at 130, my vision was 250, like 250, and I'm out. So, and we talked about this in our last few masterminds, like, and you mentioned a few minutes ago. I think when you were talking with Sabrina, or I think it was with Sabrina. It was like, when is enough enough? And yes, it's already at the point enough is enough for me. But I love what I do. I don't consider it work.
And you're
It,
also 30. You're
yeah,
31. You're also really young. So, I can quit and hang out on a porch from a rocking chair if I wanted
yeah.
to. But you're really young. You're not getting a rocking chair just yet.
And that's exactly the same mindset I have right now. It's like, if I stop buying today, like, what do I do? So
Right.
I love what we do. I love that we're helping out. And I love that we're helping out the communities. We're helping out buyers, and there's just so much wins going around with what we do. There's no reason for me to stop. I can slow down, yes, maybe buy 20, 30, 40 a year rather than buying 100, but I love what I do. Like, it's been absolutely great. And so to answer your question, like, I still don't know yet. I don't have where to stop for this vision.
So, and I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it for everyone who doesn't know. So, you also wholesale a lot,
Yeah.
probably more than anyone within the group. So, last year for 2024, I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you for everyone else's benefit. What was your total in wholesale assignment fees for the year of 24?
So last year, 2024 was about $1,600,000.
$1,600,000 in assignment fees. This is not including slow flips. This is just in wholesaling. That is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and that's not including the rental income. That's not including the filling. That's strictly just the wholesaling, and even all the wholesaling is strictly just in St. Louis and Illinois, just two small towns in the Midwest.
And so to do 1.6 million, you must have a huge marketing budget. What are you spending in marketing? That was a joke. Go
I
ahead.
know. Yeah, so I've never spent a penny in marketing in probably 4 years now. It's exactly what Cam, Sabrina, and Dean all just went through as well. It's like, I do the same thing they just mentioned. All my leads come from Facebook, from Craigslist, from Zillow, and now I've been more lazy than ever, not looking for deals, but I still get 10 deals a week because I have so many relationships with wholesalers. Every single day, a wholesaler will send me a message like, "Hey, I have this nice house in St. Louis for 22 grand for you, and I'll take it." Or, "I have this one for 15,000, I'll take it." And when I say I'll take it, I might take it myself and buy it and make it number 258 or whatever, buy it for myself. Or I can sell it to Cam and make 10 grand on it. Or I can sell it to Dean and make 15 grand on it. There's so many options when it comes to this. Or I can buy it myself or assign it, lend on it or something. There's so many options with it. But there's so much availability. And I think you talked about this at the beginning of this meeting today. There's no running out of these houses in St. Louis in the Midwest. There's an endless supply. Nothing's slowing down at all.
Yeah.
We're buying, and
I will be shocked if we can ever buy enough to have a slightest tick in the market. If we can actually move the needle, would be really impressive. But I doubt we could. We're so small that I doubt we can ever. Even BlackRock is buying 30,000 houses and they don't move the needle. Like we're buying hundreds. I mean, we can't possibly even make a dent.
Yeah, I'm 3.5 years now into the St. Louis market. I'm still buying houses for the same price and the same quantity I was when I first started. Nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
People are buying houses for more expensive, but they're the same houses. People are just paying more just because they can. But nothing's. If you look for the deals, they're the same exact prices they were 3 years ago.
So you already answered this question, but I wanted to ask again. So how are you sourcing deals? The same way I think you just mentioned, through other people.
Yep. So a lot of them are from other wholesalers, other networks, or I search through Facebook groups and on Facebook in St. Louis real estate investing. I make a lot of deals from those groups, and it's the same thing. Like what you were teaching, what you mentioned in the very beginning before you started with Sabrina is nobody wants these deals but us, and that's the absolute beauty of it. Yes, there's a lot of us in our group that are looking for it now, but we're such a flea on anything that there's so much availability, and we're the only ones that buy them. So there's no one else to negotiate. No one else would compete with you, and they're just there for the picking.
Yeah. And everybody says, well, if it was such a great deal, why would it be available? I'm like, because it's only a great deal for us.
Yeah.
So what we do, it works. It's not a great deal for landlords or for rehabbers. It doesn't work for everybody else. So give me some advice. You have great wholesaler relationships. What advice would you give somebody who wanted to build or develop their own relationships with wholesalers or agents in that area?
Yep. I think the number one most important thing is like integrity, honesty, like stick to your word. I just had a message come in a few minutes ago from a wholesaler in St. Louis that I bought probably 30 deals from. He sold to someone outside of our group and they're backing out of the deal. And it's like, well, do you want this deal now? I'm like, so it's just sticking to your word. So if you tell a wholesaler you're going to pay 25 grand for the house, you close on that house no matter what. As long as the house is in the same condition and nothing happened to it, you always close on the house. You always stick to your word. And it's just honesty. Just tell them what you're doing with the house. Tell them they know what's going on, and they're going to keep sending you deal after deal. And I made a post in Freedom Accelerator 2 days ago, and Cam mentioned it. And when he talked, is congratulate them on their successes. It's the most important thing. When they're making 50, I paid a $25,000 assignment fee last week on a $30,000 house. He got it for $5,000, but I congratulated him on his big success, and he already sent me another one today. So it's just how it goes. They're as long as they know how happy we are, they're making it goes along with them, keep sending you more and more and more deals.
Yeah, it's one of the things wholesalers have a fear of, is this person going to get mad when they see what I make, right? Once you congratulate them, you know how much they made and you congratulate them, you've eliminated that fear for them. Now they still have that fear selling to anyone else, but they know when they sell to you, they don't have to have that fear in the back of their head. Is he going to get mad when he sees I'm making money on the deal? And so we've eliminated that fear.
Yeah. And we've talked about that before in our mastermind. I had that same fear too when I first got started. And I was tacking on small assignment fees, like 1,000, 2,000. I'm looking back and I'm like, what was I doing? I'm underselling these houses because I'm not confident in myself. And my buyer would have been glad to buy the house for 10 grand more. It's just I wasn't comfortable selling it for that much, and it would have all worked out the same. But it's just you got to be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable with your buyers, and it'll all work out.
So before we take questions, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and write them into the chat. But one last question for you. So what advice would you give to somebody, or final thoughts for somebody who was thinking about joining Freedom Accelerator but was on the fence about it?
So I say this 100 times a year is get started today. Like I said, I waited 12 months before I bought my first slow flip after I took Scott's training course. And yes, I got started when I was 25, but if I started just 1 year sooner, I might be having an extra 70 houses by now, or whatever it comes out to. Get started today. Get that clock ticking. Like, it's your first slow flip. You're going to pay 60 months, 60-month payments. Why wait a month? Like, start today, buy your house today, take out your $30,000 loan with your lender in the next 2 weeks. Start that schedule going, because once you get your first house paid off, that's when you realize it's real. You have real money coming into you. You can spend this money on whatever you want to spend it on. It's really eye-opening once you get your first house paid off and knowing, like I said, you can spend this money. Like, it's a great feeling. And an even better part about it is you didn't pay for the house. You got a lender pay for it for you. So it's virtually like a free house, and you're getting my first house. They're paying me $1,200 a month for it. So it's an absolute great feeling. Just get started today. Get started soon.
I love what you said there too, is that you didn't pay for the house. So I get this debate often for people who do the BRRRR thing, and they're like, oh yeah, but I can make this spread and I can do the same thing. And I'm like, but what you don't understand, and your 90 in 1 year is the greatest example, is that when you're renovating or when you're doing the BRRRR thing, you might be able to do 1, 2, or 10 because that's your capacity. You can't do more. But with this way we do the slow flips, there is no limit. Because, I think even Dean was saying he bought 8 in 1 month or 10 in 1 month. There's no limit because we're not fixing them up. Yeah. We're not doing the work. It's just a matter of closing on them and then putting them available. And so you're really not constrained by time or the amount, your capacity. So thank you very much, Joey. I always love hearing your numbers. And I actually, somebody told me, or you said, or I heard it in somewhere that you had 258. So I was actually high this time. Normally I'm low. Normally I say, oh, he's got 150, and you're like, it's 185 now. Or I'm like, he's got 180. You're like, it's 205. Yeah. So this is the first time I actually was over. But thank you very much for coming on. Greatly appreciate it. And AJ, you can go ahead and read some of the questions, and anybody else that has questions, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Yep. So I think George asked, where did you get the funding to do your 90 deals in 1 year?
Yep. So I got a lot of funding through the mastermind through Scott's group, but a lot of it also is just networking, networking, networking. I've been doing this for 7 years now, and money just kind of just falls in your lap. I think I've probably got $300,000 in private money straight from Freedom Accelerator from students in the group. I would post a deal and they're like, "Well, I can't buy this one." With experience, with doing this for a few years, it just kind of falls in your lap.
But can I cut you off 1 second, Joey? Because I want to
Yeah.
share something that Joey does that we actually teach now. Joey was the first one to do it, but now it became part of what we teach with private lenders. Is he actually, first of all, you guys know we teach you pay on the first, pay like clockwork, so that no stress at all for your lenders. But on top of that, Joey, or his wife probably does it, I think, not him, but they send little thank you cards with their check when they pay every month. Then on the holidays, they send a Halloween card or a Valentine's card. And then I don't know if you do it once a year or twice a year, but every now and then they'll send in like a Starbucks gift card with the checks. And it's those stupid little thing. I don't know what it would cost you, probably 20 cents each time or 50, whatever it is. But some lenders specifically say, hey, I have availability to loan a few more. See if Joey needs any more. I want to loan to him. And I'm like, they want to loan to him just because of these little things, because they write a little handwritten thank you card or whatever it is. And he started that. But now we actually teach that to everyone else because I'm in the middle, I get to see the impact it has with the lenders. The lenders love it. Yes, they're making money and they're thrilled with their return, but it's the little thank you card that makes them want to do more. And so, I know you know this because you were there, but we actually teach that now as something to do with your private lenders is the little tiny thing, but it makes a huge difference in their lives.
Yep.
I think we have one more question. Reed asks, what's the average length of time before you have to evict? And what is the percentage of people that finish their contract?
So that's a good question. We asked that a lot. So I buy in two markets right now, in Hampton Roads, Virginia, right where we live, like right where I'm at right now, and in St. Louis, Missouri. And both of these states are very, very, very quick evictions. So I file paperwork. I filed some yesterday. Of all my properties in Virginia, about 70 or so, I filed 3 evictions yesterday for May. So numbers are really, really good, which I'm very excited about. But anyways, it's about 2 months. So from when I filed them, I think my court date for those were June 26th. So about a month and 3 days out, or a month and 4 days from yesterday when I filed. And after the court date, we have to wait 10 days for the appeal process, and then about 2 weeks for the eviction. So about 2 months from today, they'll be evicted by the sheriff's office as long as everything goes well in court, which it usually does. But at the same time, I expect all three of them to pay. It's just I go through my process to make sure the clock's ticking if they don't pay. This one of the guys in Portsmouth, Virginia, he's been there for 4.5 years now. He's almost paid off my entire loan for me, which is awesome. This is probably my 7th or 8th time filing for him. It's a kind of like a game I play with him. He pays the day of court every single time, but he won't pay me a penny until I have a court date pending. It makes no sense. He pays a $250 admin fee every time. He pays the court costs. He pays late fees, but he will not pay me a penny until there's a court date, until there's a debt fee. So I'm not complaining one bit. And then in St. Louis, Missouri, it's even quicker. So we get a court date in about 2 weeks, and then it's about 3 weeks from there from the date the sheriff will come and kick him out of the door. But we have another, like I said, same there. We have a great success there. People do pay. People want to stay in their house. So it's very, very easy to get the property back if they don't pay.
All right, awesome. Do we have time for one more question, Scott?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good.
So Rogelio asks, what about the damages to the property when dealing with evictions?
So that's a very good question. I think Sabrina answered it in the very, very beginning. And I love what she said is there's no damages. If all the time we have evictions within our group, probably 10, 20 times a month. Like there's just so many bulk properties that it's bound to happen. Same with regular rentals. Evictions are part of the process. It's going to happen. And every single time we sell them as is. We don't even go as far as cleaning the property out. If there's dog poop on the floor, the dog poop stays on the floor. And that happens a lot. But we don't do anything to the damages, anything with the property. It's used exactly as we get it when the sheriff gets there. We take photos that same day. We put a lockbox on it, and that is absolutely it. I wanted of all 250 of my houses and all the wholesale, everything I'm doing for 7 years, the most repairs I've ever done was not a repair. I cleaned out a house about 4 different times. So just a clean out. And that's only when a house has been sitting for about 4 months. I'm getting a little antsy. I'm like, well, this house has been sitting. Let me clean it out, make it look a little bit more presentable. But I will never do a repair. And I'm very, very firm on that just stick to the model. Don't do repairs. You'll save time and you'll save headache. You'll save money. Because even if you do the repair, we've seen it happen before. You fix the place up, it's gonna get destroyed again then by the next buyer. So don't do it.
Let's take some more of these questions, AJ, because some of these are good. I'd like to have everyone get those answers.
Yeah, let me scroll through. Someone asks, have you been using land trusts?
No. So that's a very common question as well. I don't do land trusts. All mine are in LLCs. I have 5 or 6 now. I don't even know how many, but it's all LLCs.
Joey, how many evictions would you say, actual evictions, not filing, that you would do per month?
1 or 2 maybe.
I ask because someone said 10 to 20 evictions per month. That's a lot to deal with. I'm like, no way he's doing 10 to 20.
No, I'm for the entirety of the group. Like not for me.
Oh, so he's talking about the entirety of the group because he's handling it for other people within Freedom Accelerator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So I had 1 2 weeks ago in Chesapeake. That was my only eviction I've had so far this entire month right now. So it's and yes, I file on people a lot. Like I start the court process. They miss their month payment, but they generally pay to the point where the sheriff goes there and kicks them out of the property. It's once a month, 3 times at the absolute most per month for all my 250 properties.
And what does it cost to do an eviction?
That's a good question as well. So here in Virginia, I do them myself. It's about $65. $65 is court costs. I got to pay $25 for the sheriffs and $100 for a locksmith. But if I do it myself, no more than $200. Now in St. Louis, I had to pay an attorney because I'm not over there. He charges $400 per eviction.
All right, AJ, you want to pick one good one, pick another question, and let's get one more in before we. I know we're way over time as always. I always end up over time.
One that I liked over there, someone asked about crime rates, and we get asked that a lot, especially because St. Louis. If you look it up on Google, St. Louis is like one of the
number one murder capital of the country.
Yep, and it's a very good question because I have 150 properties in St. Louis, and I do not care one thing about anything about a crime rate. I don't look up anything, and Scott teaches against it. I do the opposite of it. Is I don't care if the whole street is boarded up. I'll buy a house that, as long as the house itself presents itself, the house is in nice shape, it's renovated, power and water on, I'll take it. And I've had good success with it so far. So if I also have a higher risk tolerance. I don't really care if anything happens to it. Some people would rather buy a house on a nicer street, but for me, I'm just happy with what I do. There's crime everywhere. There's crime in Virginia. There's crime in St. Louis. There's crime everywhere. So I just ignore all that and just buy.
AJ, you got a last question for him, or are we going to let him rock and roll?
We have a last question. So Rob asks, with 230 plus houses, how many different LLCs do you have to stay in compliance with Dodd-Frank loan origination rules?
Yep. So I think we just answered that a moment ago. I have 6 right now. And the one thing with St. Louis that's absolutely the best part about it is almost everybody out there is an investor. Yeah. Almost everyone signs in an LLC, and they do the 2005 Scott. They just buy the
no Dodd-Frank when you're dealing with investors. Nothing at all.
They pay me $800 a month, average probably $750, $800 a month per property in St. Louis, and they'll fix it up probably. And they don't fix it up great. They just probably put like $10,000, $15,000 to work into it, make it look presentable, and then they rent it for $1,300. So I'm like, it's a win-win. They make $500 a month. I'm making $700 a month, and meanwhile, their renter's the one paying it for us. It's an absolute win-win. But yeah, we preach about it. It's almost all investors buying from us, almost every single time. Yeah. I signed one this morning. My buddy Brandon sent me the paperwork, and it's an investor in St. Louis, and it's an LLC. And I'm like, once I see the investor buying, I'm like, this is awesome. They pay, so they're our best buyers, and they always increase they always fix up the property, make it look better.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Joey. I appreciate you coming on. I never get tired of hearing the story from start to finish. And every time we do talk, that number gets higher and higher. The next time we have you on a meeting, you're going to say, I have 312. And I'm like, but you said you were stopping at 300. You said, yeah, but we'll keep going as long as, again, you're only 30. How old are you now? 31?
31.
31. So yeah, you got a good 20 years ahead of you before you start getting tired. So you'll probably be at 3,000 houses. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it, Joey. Thanks for coming on. I'm sure
Thank you.
a lot of value from all of you guys coming on. Dean, Sabrina, Cameron, Joey. It was very entertaining, eventful, and insightful as always. And so I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your story.